bhajan for Lord Chaitanya. So we will sing Jai Jai Jagannath Shachiranandan. Everybody can sing that. Jaya Jaya Jagannath Shachiranandan Tribhuvan Kurja Charana Bandhan. 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 Nilachal Shankha Chakra Gada Padmadhara Nadiya Nagare Danda Kamandaluka. Nilachal Shankha Chakra Gada Padmadhara Nadiya Nagare Danda Kamandaluka. Nilachal Shankha Chakra Gada Padmadhara Nadiya Nagare Danda Kamandaluka. Nilachal Shankha Chakra Gada Padmadhara Nadiya Nagare Danda Kamandaluka. Eko bole pura vete Ravan Bhatila Goloker Vaibhav Leela Prakash Kaurila. Eko bole pura vete Ravan Bhatila Goloker Vaibhav Leela Prakash Kaurila. Eko bole pura vete Ravan Bhatila Goloker Vaibhav Leela Prakash Kaurila. Eko bole pura vete Ravan Bhatila Goloker Vaibhav Leela Prakash Kaurila. Shri Radha Bhave Gaura Avatar Hare Krishna Nam Gaura Korira Prata. Shri Radha Bhave Gaura Avatar Hare Krishna Nam Gaura Korira Prata. Shri Radha Bhave Gaura Avatar Hare Krishna Nam Gaura Korira Prata. Hare हरिनाम संकीर्तन मेले की गौर पूर्णिमा महोत्सव की गौर भक्त वृंद की गौर प्रेमानंद। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानंद माधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं। हरि ओम तत्सत्। Hare Krishna. So today is a very, very happy occasion. Today is Gaur Purnima. Yesterday I was very fortunate to understand one of the importance of the Gaur Purnima festival, and I shared with devotees also, and I would like to share again with all of you. This is from Chaitanya Bhagavat Adi Khanda, chapter number 3. There are a few verses which help me understand the importance of Gaur Purnima and such, and how it is very important to celebrate, observe this Gaur Purnima festival in the association of devotees. Just like when some very important, I've seen a photo of Srila Prabhupada that he's walking with his disciples, and then there is a bench in a park where a person is sleeping. I think many of you must have seen that photo. And what is the title of that photo?
the opportunity knocks your door.
When the greatest opportunity passes by, one is often found sleeping, something like that. So, Gaur Purnima festival is something like that. First of all, the Supreme Personality of Godhead doesn't become so munificent that he starts giving away love of God freely without considering who is Patra and who is Apatra. And when that situation comes, still some people, or most of the people of this planet, they are not able to appreciate that opportunity. They are not able to understand that yes, this is a festival. If we observe, we will become remarkably fortunate. Vaishnavas are requested or ordered to do Ekadashi Vratas. And we all know that one Janmashtami Vrata is equal to 1 crore Ekadashi Vratas. Imagine what will be the benefit of observing Gaur Purnima Vrata. And my heart resents and I go in depression whenever I just notice the fact that such a great opportunity is there. Simply by participating in this birthday party, one will never take birth again. Janma karma chame devyam evam yoveti tattvatah tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mamiti socha. Simply if we understand and participate understand the importance of Gaur Purnima, pastimes of the Lord, and participate and relish it in the association of devotees, it is our greatest fortune. And if you travel all across the world, the people know all kinds of rogues, donkeys, idiots, criminals. But they do not know their real friend, who is Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the Chaitanya Bhagavat says, Chaitanyera Janma Yatra Falguni Purnima Brahma Adi Ei Tirthira Kare Aradhana. Lord Chaitanya appeared on the full moon night of the month of Falguni. That is today, many years ago. And this day is worshipable even by Brahma and others. It's not some ordinary tithi. It's a very, very special tithi. Falgun Purnima. Actually, on this Falgun Purnima, there are many things happening. Even Lord Krishna likes to play Holi with the residents of Barsana. It's a very, very nice pastime. Everybody should hear. I had the fortune of hearing it from one of my friends from Vrindavan, so he was explaining very nicely to me. So on this day, Lord Chaitanya has appeared, who is the Yugal avatar of Radha and Krishna combination. So Lord Chaitanya, Parama Pavitra Tithi Bhakti Swarupini Yahi Avatirna Helena Dvijamani. This day is the reservoir of devotional service and therefore most sanctified, because the Supreme Lord, the best of Brahmanas, appeared on that day. Gaura Chandra Avir Bhava Sune Yei Jane Kabhu Dukha Nahi Tara Janame Va Marane. Whosoever hears about the appearance and observes the appearance of Lord Gaurachandra will never feel distress either in this life or at the time of death. So I thought this is a great benediction for all of us. And in the purport, Acharyas are explaining that the demigods headed by Lord Brahma also worship the full moon night of the month of Falguna because it is the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The full moon night of the month of Falguna is such a spiritual day, Shuddha Sattva Mahi, comprised of pure goodness, and Sakshat Bhakti Swarupini, personification of devotional service. So anybody, even a little bit of japa, little bit of tapa, little bit of vrata, if you do on this Falgun Purnima, knowing the fact that it is the most divine, auspicious appearance of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we cannot even calculate, we cannot even imagine the degree to which we become fortunate. This reminds me of the pastime where Vasudeva Ghosh is praying to Lord Chaitanya that, my dear Lord, Please take everybody in this universe back home, back to God. And if you may kindly feel that they are not qualified to go back home, back to God, then give me their sins and let me suffer eternally, but take everybody back home, back to God. So at that time, the magnanimity of Lord Chaitanya was shown. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradaya Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine. So it is said that Lord Chaitanya is the most munificent form of Krishna. So that munificence was shown in the next dialogue which Lord Chaitanya made. That my dear friend Vasudev, just because you have prayed, already all the people of this universe have been delivered. Are we in that universe? There is a lot of hope for us. Because one person has prayed. Look at the magnanimity of Lord Chaitanya. He can do anything. Whether we deserve, whether we don't deserve. Just because Gaur Bhaktajan, Gaur Bhaktavind are praying, there is a lot of hope for us. And Lord Chaitanya said to Shiva Vasudev that you don't even need to suffer. Just because you have prayed, I am pleased, and anything and everything is possible. So that is the magnanimity of Lord Chaitanya. Simply in one conversation, he can give the supreme destination to anyone. So imagine what he will give when on his day of appearance we sing and dance and glorify him in front of him. That will really please him. So I congratulate all the devotees assembled here. If you will kindly try to understand the glory and the mercy of Lord Chaitanya in your heart, you will find that it is a miracle. It is more than a miracle, and it just overwhelms your entire heart into an ocean of hope, into an ocean of love, into an ocean of singing and dancing. So on this short note, I am praying to my seniors, teachers, spiritual masters, and ultimately Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya himself to inspire me what to speak today. So, when I was thinking what to discuss, I was going through the Adi Leela, and I was seeing that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, in the first slok of every chapter of Adi Leela, has played a master slok. Every first verse is a unique glorification of Lord Chaitanya. 10.1, 13.1, 14.1, 15.1, 16.1, 12.1. All these verses, they help us to analyze and understand the uniqueness of the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. And every time when Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is presenting that mercy, he is analyzing it and appreciating it from a different angle. So Lord Chaitanya's mercy is unlimited. So the degrees or the angles in which it can be understood is also unlimited. But I would like to present 6 angles of Lord Chaitanya's mercy today. Are you ready to? Angle number 1. This is very close to my heart. One verse which I read, I just forgot to note it down. It was said that anybody who offers a flower unto the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya, even if he is the most hardcore materialist, his heart will melt. So today I am going to do that. After the class I am going to take a flower and I am going to offer it to the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya. And just to be doubly insured, I will offer 2 flowers at the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. So, Shri Chaitanya Padam Bhoja Madhupebhyo Namo Namaha Kathanchid Ashrayad Yesham Swapitadgadha Bhav Bhavet. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the bee-like devotees who always taste the honey of the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Even a doggish non-devotee somehow takes shelter of such devotees. If he takes shelter of such devotees, he will enjoy the aroma of love of God. This verse is a lot of hope, at least for me. Srila Prabhupada often says that you cannot call a dog in the class and ask him to sit down and hear the Bhagavad Gita and tell him to follow the 4 relative principles and chant 16 rounds. In another lecture he says, You cannot call a dog in the class and ask him to sit down and become a brahmachari. And then he laughs. So it is not possible for a dog to become fortunate. But in Chaitanya Leela, even a dog has become fortunate. There was a associate of Lord Chaitanya whose name was Srila Shivananda Sen. So when he was going to Puri to meet Lord Chaitanya, somehow this dog started following. And we all know what happened to that dog. Simply because he took shelter, like this verse says, even a doggish non-devotee somehow takes shelter of such devotees. So the devotees of Lord Chaitanya, they are bee-like, and they are always tasting the honey of the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shivananda Sen and party, they are constantly absorbed in the pastimes and the name and qualities and form of Lord Chaitanya. Somehow this dog, generally when somebody is very lusty, in next life they become a dog. That's the law of karma. So even if somebody has a bad track record, somehow if they take shelter of these devotees of Lord Chaitanya who are relishing the name, form, qualities and pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, then that dog will also enjoy the love of God. And we see how this dog was following the devotees, got into the yatra party, and look at the devotees of Lord Chaitanya, they are taking care of the dog so nicely. They are providing food, they are providing prasadam, they are providing place. And ultimately, once when the dog went missing, Srila Shivananda Sen was feeling that I have done a great offense. So lesson learned from the devotees of Lord Chaitanya, that one should learn to respect each and every living entity. That is the mood of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not just preaching to scholars like Prakashanand Saraswati and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. His mercy is reaching out to all class of living entities, which includes dogs. And because these devotees, they became merciful on this dog, even when the dog was lost its track and could not be found, just because it spent little bit of time with the devotees, Lord Chaitanya ensured that this dog became supremely fortunate. So when these devotees, when they reached Puri, they saw that Lord Chaitanya was sitting with the dog. Imagine Lord Chaitanya saying no to Prataprudra Maharaj, I will not meet you. But same Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is sitting with the dog and he was throwing some food. Chaitanya Charitamrita doesn't describe what it was. I'm guessing it must be roti. Because I'm a dog, I like rotis. So he must be throwing rotis and the dog is eating. And simply by eating that, the dog went back home victim-hearted. There is another dog pastime which is coming to my mind, which was performed by Lord Chaitanya when he was a small child. How many of you know that pastime? Very nice. So Lord Chaitanya, just like Lord Krishna, was a transcendental autocrat when he was young. He was the great swimmer of Ganges river and he used to perform many competitions and games in the Ganges. His daily pastime was go in the Ganges, have bath, play nicely for 1 or 2 hours. Lord Chaitanya's pastime was, or childhood was not a boring childhood like mine. My childhood, if I have to define, I will just say that my childhood includes a video game, a dog, and some vacations, that's all. But Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, childhood pastimes are not like that. He used to have a lot of fun in the Ganges river. And through each of his fun, he used to give a lot of learning lessons to various class of people. There are 3 classes of people who understand God. Vadanti tattva tattva vidas tattvam yajnanam advyam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagwan iti shabdya. There are Brahman realized people, Bhagwan realized people, Paramatma realized people. And Lord Chaitanya was teaching lessons to them. He also taught lessons to the young girls of Navadvip through these Ganges pastimes. Maybe sometime we should have a discussion only on Ganges pastimes with Lord Chaitanya. So one day when he was playing in the Ganges, he saw a dog. And the dog was very beautiful. So the other friends said that we want this dog. Lord Chaitanya said, no, this is the best dog, so I will take. So the friends became a little angry. Like, why always the best things go to Gauranga? And Gauranga was playing. And imagine, this is, according to the Vedic culture, people should not let dogs come in the house. Dogs should always remain out. And here is Dvijamani, the crest jewel of all the Brahmanas, who is highly respected, who is the son of highly respected Jagannath Mishra, whom everybody looks up to. He is floating and rolling in Ganges with a dog. First of all, that is a bad scene to have. But he was showing through his pastimes that even if I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead and my dear part and parcel, even if you are a dog, just because you are a dog doesn't mean that you will not get my mercy. Just because you have become doggish in the practice of your life and in the practice of your Krishna consciousness, doesn't mean that my mercy is not available to you. So Lord Chaitanya started embracing with the dog, playing with that dog, and guess what? He brought it to his home also. And in the house of a Brahmana, the dog is there. And he has brought it and kept it in his room, and he is playing with it. Mother Shachi has seen. She's almost getting a heart attack. How can a dog be in my house? So Mother Sachi somehow convinced Lord Chaitanya, Gauranga, that you again go and have bath because you have touched a dog, and I will take care of your dog until you come, and I will cook also something for you. So Gauranga Mahaprabhu goes to have bath again, and in the meantime, just like all mothers do, she opened the dog and chased the dog. Just because the dog had a little bit of association with Gauranga, and little bit of scoldings from the mother of Gauranga. The dog went out in the streets and then publicly standing on two legs, just like the Leela which was done in Kuju, which is in Jharkhand, the forest. The dog was standing on two legs and in almost a human voice he was chanting. Just look at me, I'm chanting. Similarly, the dog was chanting. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. He was chanting like this, everybody was singing, they were not able to understand what's happening. Chanting, he was developing Ashtasattvic Vikar. The dog's body was shivering. The dog's tears were coming out. And then chanting, it died. Gave up its body, went back home, back to God. This is the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. Even if I feel that I am a dog, and I really have lost so many opportunities to practice and progress in bhakti, but still there is hope. Simply I have to associate with the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. And by their mercy, even a doggish devotee can experience love of God. So this was one verse which I wanted to share with all of you. Another verse, 13.1. Sa prasidatav chaitanya devo yasya prasadatah tallila varnane yogyah sadyasyad adhamopyam. I wish the grace of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by whose mercy even one who is fallen can describe the pastimes of the Lord. So this verse is also very close to my heart because it gives hope to everybody, and both to the qualified and to the non-qualified, because whatever qualification we have, ultimately it is not sufficient when it comes to preaching the glories or taking care of the instructions given by the spiritual master. So, even one who is fallen means what? Fallen means allowing my mind to dance between me and my spiritual master. That is called a fallen conditioned state. A stable spiritual life means I do not allow my mind to dance between me and my spiritual master. That means whatever instructions I have got from my spiritual master, I have to perform it, and I have to give no importance and control my mind by neglecting it completely. But when one does not has that spiritual strength to do, because of Vaishnava Aparad, Nam Aparad, Seva Aparad, Vaishnava Ninda, then the mind becomes strong, intelligence becomes weak. Throughout the scriptures we have seen, as soon as one does some offense, they are immediately unable to follow the instructions which they have got from their spiritual masters. So those like me who are in this category, who are allowing their mind to dance between them and their spiritual master, they are called as fallen. But by the grace of Lord Chaitanya, even fallen can describe the pastimes of the Lord. This is very hope-giving because Lord Chaitanya has said, "Amar agya guru hoya taro ek desh, jare dekho tare kaho Krishna upadesh." On my order, you become a spiritual master, and whomsoever you meet, you preach to them the science of Krishna consciousness. How to do that? I always hear in lectures that until unless I have some taste in Krishna consciousness, until unless I have experienced some Krishna Anubhuti, until unless I have some taste in chanting the holy names, I cannot give it to others. Or rather, somebody was telling me only 10% of what you have you can give it to others. But still there is hope. Even if that is not there. If we pray for the grace of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is very merciful. Today's discussion will go here and there. So, a pastime of Vrindavan is coming to my mind. Once Nandotsav was being celebrated. I think Krishna was around 7 to 8 years old. And on the appearance day of Krishna, Janmashtami, Nanda Maharaj had organized a big party. And on the day of birthday, you should do 3 things. Austerity, charity, japa. These 3 things should be done. Some austerity means get up early, come from another. Some charity means sponsor some paraphernalia for the Lord and do nice japa. So Nand Maharaj organized charity event where he said, "Everybody please come, my son is giving away things in charity, take from him and bless him." So at that point of time, Lord Krishna was sitting very nicely. Mother Yashoda was feeding him, he was eating. It is described that the joy of Mother Yashoda's life was simply to eat, see Krishna eating. How he eats, how he moves his eyebrows, how his teeth move, how his lips move, how he smiles, how he curls his face when he eats things which he doesn't like. That was the joy of Mother Yashoda's life. So she was feeding. She had invested all her loving potency in her son. And there was no reason for her to exist without the service of her son. Srila Prabhupada says, Mother Yashoda became the mother of Krishna to become a servant of Krishna. Srimati Radharani became the lover of Krishna to become a servant of Krishna. Sridham, Madhumangal, Ityadi, they became friends of Krishna to become a servant of Krishna. So this consciousness of serving Krishna is the highest possible bliss which is available. And Mother Yashoda was experiencing it. And at that time, Lord Krishna was, somebody was giving him something to give and he was giving to everybody. So in the queue, there were some people who didn't have the patra to receive the charity. So this whole pastime is very symbolic also. Sometimes the mercy of the Lord is falling, but we do not know how to receive it. One who does not have the patra to receive the kripa, they will not be able to receive the kripa. Scriptures explain that if one is engaged in sense gratification, then the mercy of the Lord also, if it comes, it will leak out. And then it will take a lot, just like a pot which has held liquor for a lot of time, or a pot which has held coal or some dark matter for a lot of time, it requires a lot of water to wash it away, especially when it is leaking. So it will take a lot of time. if you do not have a proper path to collect the mercy, it may be possible that you may be denied of mercy also. So Lord Krishna, when he saw that some people did not have a proper patra to collect the things, he said, go get patra and come. At that time, Srimati Radharani commented that Krishna did not give his mercy to those people who didn't have the patra. And then when Lord Krishna heard it, he felt very bad. And then he started thinking about the mercy of Srimati Radharani, and how merciful she is. She wants me to give my mercy even to those people who do not have the patra to receive it, who are not qualified to receive it. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, the degree to which one surrenders to me, to that degree I reveal myself. That is the patrata. If you have the patrata, you can appreciate Krishna consciousness. But if you do not have the patrata, you need mercy. So this mood of Lord Chaitanya giving mercy to people, whether qualified, whether unqualified, whether having patra or not having patra, is inspired by Lord Srimati Radharani. And this verse is a very nice personification of that. That I wish the grace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by whose mercy one who is fallen can describe the pastimes of the Lord. So who can describe the pastimes of the Lord? Only one who has experienced those pastimes. Simply by reading, you cannot speak Chaitanya Leela or Krishna Leela. Until unless you have experienced it. Until unless you have felt it. Until unless you have heard it with submissiveness from someone, you cannot repeat it. So, fallen devotees can also become qualified to repeat the Lord's pastimes. And this is especially valid in preaching. So therefore, those who are preachers, they should get a lot of hope from this verse. In the purport to this verse, Srila Prabhupada is saying, it should be concluded, therefore, that the writing of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami manifests specific mercy bestowed upon the author, although he thought he himself is the most fallen. We should not consider him fallen because he describes himself as such. Rather, anyone who is able to compose or speak about Lord Chaitanya should be considered as a master. Why? Because Lord Chaitanya's mercy is there. So this is some point which I was just listing. Okay, next verse. Verse number 14.1. This is a very, very famous verse. Kathanchana smrite yasmin dushkaram sukkaram bhavet vismrite viparitam syat Shri Chaitanya namamitam. Things that are very difficult to do become very easy if somehow or other one simply remembers Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But if one does not remember him, even easy things become very difficult. To that, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I offer my respectful obeisances. Whatever a sadhaka may feel that there are some difficulties which he is facing in spiritual life. At least I feel like that. When I see the track record of my struggle with those difficulties, what can I say? It's like a long tale of absurdity going through various lifetimes. And there's no hope, seriously. There's seriously no hope. Extraordinarily fallen. But this verse is hope for everybody like me who are struggling in their practice of Krishna consciousness. That somehow or the other, during the practice of my Krishna consciousness, if I can remember Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates, then I will, I must, I should be able to overcome those difficulties. Even little bit of mercy if we get from Lord Chaitanya, anything is possible. I always keep telling myself, by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, anything is possible. Would you like to repeat with me? By the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
Suppose, imagine, we want a hall where 1 lakh people should be sitting and chanting the Hare Krishna Maha. Can you imagine that? And by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, anything is possible. So, job description of a devotee is to plan things like this. The devotee of Lord Chaitanya means he should be thinking bigger than Lord Chaitanya also. So one has to plan great things and what is the confidence? Like yesterday someone was showing me their photo which they had clicked with Parth Jindal, the prince of Jindal Steel, JSW and all that. So he was telling that, see, I am so good. I have photos, I know Parth Jindal. Any problem I have, I can call him. He's like my, go-to man. So, Parth Jindal cannot save someone from serious difficulties which they will get in life. But if we make this statement that by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya anything is possible, our go-to statement, and if we start depending on Lord Chaitanya, and we have to simply believe in this. Our Guru Vrind, Vartaman Acharya Vrind, they have given us so many instructions which seem like a mountain. It is impossible to do, factually speaking. If somebody is thinking, yeah, I can do it on my own, what can I say? They are like a dog who is trying to cross the ocean. But despite the overwhelming nature of the task which has been given to us, if only 2 things I follow. If I just have the faith in the instruction of the Vartaman Acharya, and if I understand this point that by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya anything is possible, then really anything is possible. Narottam Das Thakur had faith in this point, that by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya anything is possible. So when he did Sankirtan, he was saying the Panch Tattva in his heart. And by that Sankirtan in Kheturi Gram, on the first celebration of Gaur Purnima, everybody could see the Panch Tattva 50 years after they had passed away, physically, from this point. So great, mind-boggling things are happening, especially if you read the pastimes of Srila Prabhupada. Almost miracles were happening every half an hour. If you hear the Prabhupada memories. Why? Because Gaur Vani Pracharya, he was simply trying to propagate the teachings of Lord Chaitanya with firm faith in the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. It is very bewildering, It's not easy. It's just easy to say, yeah, I'm doing Gaur Vani Pracharya. It requires a lot of faith. Those who have gone to the West, they will know. It's very intimidating sometimes. Imagine you are in a place where everybody is taller than you. Everybody is stronger than you. Everybody is richer than you. Everybody is more influential than you. Everybody is, seems to be healthier than you. They have all those 6 opulences, so-called 6 opulences. One feels to be intimidated sometimes. I can't eat like them, I can't sleep like them, I can't walk like them, I can't talk like them. In every way they are better than me. Even in work perspective they are better than me. Probably I should become their servant and try to learn from them. And when Srila Prabhupada went, he was not intimidated. Because he had firm faith in the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. He had Gauranga Darshan basically in his heart. And one who has seen Krishna, they will not be bewildered by the display of Maya, the way I was bewildered. Because I had no Gauranga Darshan, Krishna Darshan. So I was thinking, these foreigners, they are so nicely dressed, they behave, everybody whom, even on street, if anybody meets, they say Guten Tag, good morning and smile to each other. I was thinking, this place is really nice, man. Nice manners, nice behavior. If I drop something, 10 people come to pick it up. I was thinking, these people are so good. Later on I realized, one who is not a devotee of Krishna has no good qualities. But it took me a lot of time to realize this. I'm just sharing, I don't know if this would happen to everybody, but this happened with me. I got intimidated. But Srila Prabhupada, he didn't get intimidated. he was having full faith, even when everybody was smoking cigarettes in front of him, even when all the other so-called swamis, yogis had moved up town into the rich people's house, given up their saintly attire, wearing different kinds of suits, saying that, see, our preaching is successful, we are opening so many, this, that. Srila Prabhupada was not getting intimidated. Even in Dr. Mishra's studio, he was not getting intimidated because he had a plan. And he was completely focused on distributing this mercy. And why he was becoming successful? Because he was always remembering the Lord Chaitanya and never forgetting Lord Chaitanya. Gaur Vani Pracharini. So therefore, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatanya. So whenever and wherever, yada yada, in our spiritual life, we feel any difficulty, first thing to do is just pray to Lord Chaitanya. And the more pathetic your situation is, the higher is the chance that you will get the mercy. If your situation is not so pathetic, our appeal will not be so piteous in front of Lord Chaitanya. So one prayer which we all should do for each other, that may our situation become so piteous that Lord Chaitanya may immediately listen to us. Can we all make this prayer by chanting the Hare Krishna Mantra? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Verse number 15.1. Ku manahasva manastvam hi yati yasya padabjayoho Sumano arpana matrena tam chaitanya prabhum bhaje. This is the verse which I was talking about. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya, because simply by offering a flower at his lotus feet, even the most ardent materialist will become a devotee. Srila Prabhupada often says that if a devotee of Krishna says something, it must come true. Because there is a calendar quote, either today or yesterday. So here is a devotee of Lord Krishna, Krishnadas Kaviraj. He is telling simply by offering a flower to the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya, even the most ardent materialist. Ardent materialist means who is doing everything. He can do everything in the world, but he cannot do anything for his spiritual advancement. That is called materialist. Karmi. He wants to do everything. Except spiritual advancement, everything else can be a part of his agenda. At least I feel very relevant. These kind of people, I can talk to. These kind of people I gel along with very nicely. So there is a lot of hope by this benediction which is given by Krishnadas. Simply offer a lotus flower. Now what does this lotus, not lotus flower, any flower, offering a flower. What does offering a flower mean? According to the Pancharatra system, flower represents your heart. So when we offer Etani Pushpani, so we are saying that I am offering my heart unto your lotus feet. Just like any flower offered to the lotus feet of the deity, Radha Krishna, Gaur Nitai, becomes prasad. And then when that prasad goes to everybody, simply by coming in touch with that prasad, people get advancement in bhakti. So similarly, when we offer our heart to Radha Krishna, Gaur Nitai, then our heart will get the rasa of the lotus feet of Radha Krishna, Gaur Nitai. And when that heart, which is devoid of passion but full of compassion, when it will come in touch with other devotees, other people, then those ardent materialists will become devotees. This is the science of Krishna consciousness. So every day we should offer flower, means we should say, this is my heart, please take it. Either you trample it, either you make my heart happy by accepting this flower under your lotus feet, or you make me broken-hearted by trampling it under your lotus feet. In all circumstances, every day, I will offer my flower to you. Something like that you can say. Very bad trying to copy the 8th verse of Shikshashtakam. But that should be the mood. Sometimes a practicing sadhaka may feel that they are not progressing. Sometimes when we sit in an aeroplane, we are all sitting all the time. And outside it's all Brahman. You can't realize what's going on. You are feeling no sense of achievement, no work done. Jahan baithe hain, wahin baithe hain. But when you get down, you realize you've traveled thousands and millions of miles. Sometimes Krishna consciousness is like that. One may not be able to understand the progress they are making. But just because we are connected to Lord Chaitanya, and just because we are offering a flower daily to his lotus feet, just because we are offering a flower daily to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, we should be sure that we are making progress. We may not be able to realize this, but one day, when the test of time will come, Krishna will show it to us, devotees will show it to us, circumstances will show it to us, and that day we will be surprised that how, simply by offering flowers to the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya, an ardent materialist has become a devotee. And that day, we will be able to glorify Lord Chaitanya actually. So we should wait until that day. In fact, our prayer should be that, my dear Lord Chaitanya, help me to realize your mercy in my life. Can we say Hare Krishna Mahamantra once?
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Last verse, and with that we'll end our discussion, 16.1. So, just go through the Adi Lila. First verse of almost all the chapters is like a different angle of Lord Chaitanya's mercy. Kripa Sudha Saridyasya Vishvam Apla Vayantyapi Nichagaiva Sada Bhati Tam Chaitanya Prabhum Bhaje. I worship Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whose nectarian mercy flows like a great river, inundating the entire universe. Just as a river flows downstream, Lord Chaitanya especially extends himself down to the fallen conditioned souls. So this verse, Prabhupada has written a big purport. He's giving the example of Jagai and Madai, and how the Society of Krishna Consciousness is successfully claiming all fallen souls to free them from contamination. So, Lord Chaitanya is Patit Pavan. Sometimes devotees ask, what is my sambandha with Krishna? Sometimes some so-called advanced devotees will try to ask, what is my swarupa in the spiritual world? This is the answer. I am Patit, Lord is Patit Pavan, that is my swarupa. And that is my sambandha. And it will eternally remain the same. There is no way of changing. I will always be the recipient of mercy, and Lord Chaitanya will always be the bestower of mercy. That is my swarupa. I have understood this. Swarup Siddhi ho gaya. That's all. Just exist in this consciousness. Never give up hope. The whole world can leave us. Our intelligence, our siddhis, our so-called opulences may leave us. But Lord Chaitanya will never leave us. One personal incident I would like to share. For the first time in my life, I was relishing, I became a little serious in Krishna consciousness, slightly serious in Germany. That's the place where I started chanting 16 rounds. So I had developed some attachment to the devotees there. And for the first time in my life, I was experiencing that there is a sublime kind of happiness in the association of devotees. Regularly, I started to go to the temple and do the seva and listen to the katha, participate in the kirtan. So naturally, when my time to come back to India had come, I was feeling a lot of separation from them. It is natural. They gave me so much love, they took care of me, they gave me so much guidance. When I used to not come to temple, आदमी भेजते थे पूछने के लिए कहाँ है, बर्तन कौन धोएगा. That was their mercy. If they wouldn't have followed up with me, God knows where I would have been. And they used to smile and say, "Oh Prabhu, 2 weeks without you, how can we stay?" Indirectly they were saying, 2 weeks, you not coming, you are in Maya. I have to come. So there was this brahmachari who was regularly following up with me. He used to send people, "Jaki dekho, why is he not coming?" And when I used to not come, he used to send people again and again to ask. So naturally, when I was coming back to India, the Tapobhumi, where I wish to stay eternally, because this is the place where Lord Kapila has come, Lord Krishna has come, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come. I feel very sorry for those Indians who try to give up their stay in India and try to go abroad. Personal advice to them, don't do that. Of course, if you want to understand what Srila Prabhupada has done, once you should go to the West and see who Srila Prabhupada is. It's very easy to distribute books in India, it's very easy to preach in India. Try preaching in the Western countries and try distributing books to the Europeans. It's like distributing books to people of Kolkata. Horrible. They will not take. The sense gratification is so much, the ignorance covering is so much that only Lord Chaitanya can pierce through them, or Srila Prabhupada can pierce through them. Nobody else can pierce through them. It's not easy. So in those circumstances, I was given a lot of guidance, I was given a lot of prasad, so I had naturally developed attachment. And I was seeing no hope that how will I continue my Krishna consciousness. I'm not able to put it in words, but it was a very serious urgency at that point in time. How will I chant when I get separated from these devotees? At that time, this devotee, he stood in front of me, he was very tall, blue eyes, fair body, hands almost, not fully, but almost reaching down till the knees. And he kept his hands on my shoulder and he said one thing, Lord Chaitanya will always protect you, always have faith in this. So that became the guiding statement of my life. Till now I follow that. That Lord Chaitanya will always save. There is no circumstance where Lord Chaitanya will give up on someone. And this verse when I read, that Lord Chaitanya's nectarian mercy flows like a great river, inundating the entire universe. Just like a river flows downstream, Lord Chaitanya especially extends himself to the fallen. So, we should just try to understand that how fallen I am and try to pray to Lord Chaitanya for his mercy. This is the summum bonum of spiritual life. Advancement in spiritual life is measured by this only. How fallen I am. And this is not like doing a competition with my roommate. I am more fallen than me. Not actually feeling it. Analyzing that how abominable my situation was, how ghinit my past was, and how Mahajans came into my life and they actually picked me up from where I was. And those Mahajans were sent by who? Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, whatever pastimes we are seeing now, whatever pastimes we will see for the next 10,000 years, they are the pastimes of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we are very, very fortunate that somehow we are a part of those pastimes. And if we can connect everybody to Lord Chaitanya, Lord Chaitanya's mercy is flowing through the books of Prabhupada, through the Harinam Sankirtan, through the Prasadam, through the these small oasis-like centers, which is like in the desert of sense gratification. So Lord Chaitanya's mercy is flowing. All we have to do is to try to connect people to Lord Chaitanya. So therefore, wherever we go as devotees, we should make it a point. We should always speak about Lord Chaitanya. Whether it's a Bhagavad Gita session or a Bhagavatam session or even when it is like some XYZ. Always speak about Lord Chaitanya and always try to talk about His mercy. It does miracles. I tell you, it really does miracles. There was a Bhakti Vriksha session which was going on, and the Bhakti Vriksha leader was continuously telling people are not coming, they are not taking shiksha, they are not progressing, what to do, what to do. All of us had got fed up. So one of the leaders asked this question: do you have the photo of Panchatattva while conducting the Bhakti Vriksha session? Question number 1. Question number 2, are you speaking about Lord Chaitanya? The answer was no to both of these questions. And then immediately they suggested that can you kindly put the photo of Panchatattva and kindly speak about Lord Chaitanya and come back to us in 1 month. In 1 month's time, the Bhakti Vriksha leader came and reported that some miracle has happened. Simply by keeping the photo of Lord Chaitanya and asking everybody to offer a flower, because they know what was happening, offering a flower every session to the Panchatattva, and in every session simply speaking a little bit about Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, miracle has happened. Now the Bhakti Vriksha is about to do an organic split. They are splitting and becoming 2 Bhakti Vrikshas. So this is, I can really see that preaching is not about techniques. It's about understanding and connecting with Lord Chaitanya. Or rather, understanding and connecting with Lord Chaitanya's mercy, which is flowing down. Just like electricity flows from high potential to low potential, water flows from high elevation to lower elevation. So similarly, somehow we have to position ourselves in a place, in some humility, so that we can be able to receive the mercy. Then anything can happen. Shri Krishna, Chaitanya, Prabhu, Daya, Karuna. These bhajans, they can melt anybody's heart. So Narottam Das Thakur is praying to Lord Chaitanya, Srila Prabhupada is praying to Lord Chaitanya, Acharyas are praying to Lord Chaitanya. And miracles are happening, we are seeing. Things which are impossible. Look at the TOVP. Who could think that it is possible to make? Can anybody make such a temple? And what we are seeing TOVP now being launched in 2024 is the first phase of TOVP. TOVP will not remain always like that. It will keep on expanding because Lord Chaitanya's movement is expanding. So look at the Mayapur city which is coming up. Look at the plans of preaching which are coming up. How? Look at this whole idea of every town and village in Kali Yuga. How is it possible? It's not possible. So simply by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, everything is possible. This Bhakti Ganga, which Lord Chaitanya has started, anybody who falls in this Bhakti Ganga will be floating in it and will be taken to the ultimate destination. Even those who are not willing to jump in it, for them Lord Nityananda is there. He will somehow try to bring them into this ocean of mercy. So these were a few of the verses which I just, the mood of Lord Chaitanya I was just trying to understand. I would like to end with one small verse of Acyuta Ashtakam written by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, which really explains the mood of Lord Chaitanya. Sadatam janata bhavatapaharam paramatma parayan lokagatim navalehakaram jagatapaharam pranamami shachi sutagaram. He is always removing the suffering of the material existence for mankind. He is the goal of life for persons who are dedicated to their supreme interest. He inspires men to become like honeybees, eager for the honey of Krishna Prema. He removes the burning fever of the material world. I bow down to Gaura, the beautiful son of Mother Shachi. Thank you very much. Wishing all of you a very, very happy Gaur Purnima. I hope that all of you could little bit appreciate the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. Please feel free to discuss more and share more. The more we share, the more we talk about the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, we'll experience a miracle in our heart. And that heart, when it experiences the miracle of Chaitanya Shakti, becomes devoid of passion and becomes full of compassion. Thank you very much, Hare Krishna. If there are any questions or comments, reflections. Thank you, Hare Krishna.